Hi everybody, Mature Simmer. Welcome back here to the VIP series, the second season here in the hills of Tuscany. So if you're new to the series, welcome. Let me briefly explain what we are doing here. So the series is designed to utilize the VIP Order Manager mod. This is the main interface in the game for it. Basically, you can think of this as a quest system for Farming Simulator that basically gives you goals at various levels that if you achieve, you'll get the bonus payout once all these orders are filled. So you can see here, we are at level 6, and we've got these 6 orders that we need to complete. So I'm working through them at this point. So let's see what we can get into today. So just checking out the potato field, seeing where things are at. So nitrogen and lime are perfect. Took care of that last time we were together. We're going to see, how much we get out of the field here. We can see that the yield potential is a little bit low because it's not the best soil, but it's what we've got for the potatoes. We've got alfalfa over here that I have not gone ahead and done anything with. I don't have any needs for that. So again, if we look here, basically I'm always kind of trying to just see what progress I can make. So I think the first thing to check, I've gone and looked at the greenhouses, the tomatoes and the lettuce that we have in the future are churning away, required some more fertilizer and seeds, so I've gone ahead and taken care of that. Nothing too exciting to see there. Now, I did also go ahead and plant wheat on the fields here. We're going to go ahead this morning and we're going to continue and start up working on the wheat here as well, because that is going to be crucial. So this will be another field, but with the 175,000 liters, I think we're going to need every little bit we can get. So we have a couple fields to get planted today. So with a tighter field like this, where we've got some corners and so forth, I've been using round in some of the fields, and while it's worked a little bit, it definitely has left really large corners. I'm going to go ahead and try to get this set to smooth, and we'll go ahead and see how the worker handles that here. This is really the tightest corner in this field. Everything else is a little bit rounded, but my hope is that we'll be in pretty good shape here, because honestly it really can't effectively reverse with the way that this implement is set up. So while we've got a little bit there, so the reason I haven't liked smooth is it tends to leave a little bit on each turn, and the thing that was nice with round is that that didn't happen. This field has always been a bit of a challenge. This is my biggest tractor that I have on the farm right now. I don't necessarily want to invest in anything bigger, because frankly, I'm still spending more money than I'm bringing in, even with the bonus payouts. I started here. If you haven't followed the series from the beginning, we moved here from England, from Riverview Farms, where we started with my uncle letting us use his farm, and we worked through level 20 on the VIP orders in that series, and ultimately were able to come away once we sold the farm and everything, and with everything we had done over that time, and we were able to come here and take advantage of this opportunity to purchase this farm here in Italy, starting with 8.5 million euros, but you can see where we're at now from that. So a few years in at this point servicing this, but this has been some significant outlay. And again, before we even started the farm and so forth, we really started the work here with, I think, about $5 million. But we've been buying productions, we've been buying fields, we've been buying equipment, and I'm going to need equipment for the potatoes, because I believe that will likely become something that we're going to see more often. This is the first order that we're seeing. In the series, we've got a couple other key mods that we're using to make things interesting. We're using a potato processing mod. You know, and some of these are linked down below in the description of the video. So if you're looking at, I think I've got the map and that potato processing mod. And then we're just using the Platinum expansion, I believe is what it's called. Again, it's confusing with the Premium expansion, which just came out. So that is available in Farming Simulator, but to not confuse things in this series, I do not have it turned on here, because I don't necessarily want new equipment and obviously new crops, which I don't think would work without a map and so forth. But for, you know, in any event, I sometimes get the terms mixed up, but it's the one that includes a lot of more detailed productions. So the floor tiles that we're seeing here at level 6 are one of the things from that expansion. So at this point, we do have this field moving along. I'm going to work on this, and then I'm going to go ahead and I think plant field 22 just to finish everything up. I may leave field 1 alone at this point. Simply because I don't know that I need it, and it's one of the more challenging ones to get into and work in all situations. So I'm half tempted. I can't really sell it off because it's part of the parcel that's part of the main farm, so I would lose all the buildings. But there's fences and there's a lot of things that keep it pretty tight in there. I'm sure I'll use it again, but with this planter, it is just challenging to get in there and seed with this, with the confines that we have. So that would probably add 10 or 20,000 liters at most, and I don't know that that's going to be enough, and we've got plenty of other things to grow. So if we take a look here, we need wheat and the potatoes this time, so those are the 2 crops we need for level 6. And then in preparation for level 7, we're going to need some triticale and some spelt, which are crops that have been added to this map. So we have not worked with those yet, but I'm going to go ahead and we're going to kind of take a look at the other things now that this is planting. But my hope is today we're going to get everything planted in wheat, and then that's going to move us along to a position where we can start to harvest. But as always, even with the faster greenhouses that we've got, I think we're going to be waiting a while for the tomatoes to grow, and certainly the lettuce and so forth. But that's why I've got them moving as fast as I can. But let's go see how the floor tiles are going. So you can see the building down there. That location is my property for all of the expansion. You can see the chicken barn, you can see the sawmill in the center, and we've got the floor tile factory over to the left. So as you can see, it's the flooring factory, and we're not running anything here yet because what we've been doing is in the sawmill we've been generating the long planks. So you can see here we've got a little bit of wood left. If I run across over here, we've got a few pallets of long planks that we've got. Not sure if we've got everything we need, but it should give us a pretty good shot. I did go ahead and try to figure out what I needed to do, and the long planks were my best bet of the 2 options that I have for getting myself some floor tiles. But at this point, I've got enough wood here. I'm going to get that moved over to the factory, and we're going to start some floor tiles churning away here. Alright, so we've got 4,000 liters here. You can see we're going to take 90 of these and turn them into 180. So we're going to activate this. And so you can hear the flooring factory churning away. So we've got that production moving along. We need 16,000 liters. So basically that means I need 8,000 liters of long planks, if I'm doing my math correctly. So I think we may be short of the wood we need, but this at least gets us going, and then we can figure out if we need to do something else. So the next piece I'm going to look at is the fried potatoes. So the fried potatoes we need are going to need potatoes, vegetable fat, water, and onions. So I think I can get the onions going. And you can see we have those here. So those are working, and we have this greenhouse on this property as well. It's sitting over there by the chicken barn. So we should have some pallets that have gotten tossed out here. There they are. So not a lot. So you can see we have 700 liters of onions per pallet. Those are really, really nice looking onions. I like this model. I've not used them before. I think they did an excellent job on these. So we've got, what, 6 pallets? Yes. So 4,200 liters of onions, 23,000 liters of fried potatoes. So this is kind of always what is going on here with the VIP orders. So I'm going to need 2 liters of onions to make 5 liters of fried potatoes. So I'm going to need basically 40% of that 2,300. So that is going to put me at what? Or 23,000. So that is going to be 9,200 liters if my math serves me correct. So we still need another 5,000 liters. And obviously it's going to have to come out in 700 liter pallets, but I can always pick it up with my truck and just grab exactly what I need to move it over there. And we had talked about using soybeans to generate the vegetable fat. So you can see I need 2 soybeans to generate 1 liter. Again, with the fried potatoes, it's basically a 1 to 5, so it's a 20%. So I'm going to need 4,600 liters. So I'm simply going to need 9,000 liters of soybeans. So that shouldn't be too large of a field, I think. But this is exactly why I enjoy the VIP Order Manager. It is truly doing things that make you move along and figure out what you need to do. Is that the flooring factory? Oh, it is. I like that. So I like this smoke animation now that it's running. So you can really see, and this is something that I think maybe the higher quality may be expected, because these are Giants editions. This is, the expansion is an official Giants edition. It's not some sort of a modder. Not that a modder couldn't do this, but I think that is why maybe we're getting a little bit more going on there. So I think that is excellent. I'm certainly enjoying it. Hopefully you are as well. So I am going to go ahead at this point. I'm going to keep focusing on getting these fields planted, get the wheat done. Again, we're going to move over to the other field. Once I'm done with that, we'll take a look at where some things are at and see if we've just got to progress a few days or what the options are. See you in a bit. Alright, so I'm back pretty quick. So taking a look at what I need to do, the other thing that I need pretty quickly are olives. So again, this field and this field are owned by me. So this is going to be the quickest way to get some things, because I need olive oil. So we don't sell raw olives. That's something the VIPs will not be asking for. But let me get this going here, because this is ready to harvest. We haven't touched the olives in a bit. So I'm going to go ahead and set my GPS lines. These are not easily able to be automated. So we'll go ahead and get this taken care of here as far as setting it up. So, I get the GPS set to 3 meters. This looks like it's in the right location. we're able to pull the olives off. It's just a question of, will we be able to get what we need? So we need 8,000 or 18,000 liters of olive oil. So I'm going to keep this moving along. But if I look at the olive mill, it's 2 to 2, so it's direct. So I'm going to need 18,000 liters. So I'm not sure if I'm going to be able to get this, but again, I don't need this olive oil. Actually, I think I need 17,000, if I remember correctly. But I don't need this until level 7. So I don't need it for a while. So I do have a couple additional olive fields here, but you can see they're significantly smaller. And they are brutally difficult to work. The hills are extremely steep. They're definitely a challenge. So I'm going to try to avoid using them right now, unless I must. So this is certainly part of, working a map, understanding what you have available to you is just figuring out what makes sense. The benefit I've had with coming here with the funds, looks like the worker on field 9 is done, so I'm going to need to move that over. But the benefit I've had with coming here with those additional, or the surplus of funds, I shouldn't say the surplus, because I am in fact really concerned that I may suddenly be having to wait or make choices, which is not something I honestly had to do after a certain point in Riverview. We were just making so much money and the bonuses were so large, and we had bought all the equipment. My challenge right now is I don't know that I'm quite done, because my hope is that the potato processing picks up, and so I think over time I should actually begin to own the potato machinery. We did rent the planter this time, and I could rent the harvester. There are no rules in this series against renting. It's using money, and if I want to choose to do that, this isn't a survival series by any stretch of the imagination. And that's also why in some cases, I'm okay moving things less than, the best way, because this takes enough time. There's enough work, as you can see. I think the last episode I commented, I think for the, hour of episode that it turned out to be, I think there was 9 hours of gameplay that it took to get that hour of results that I shared with you. My goal is to not make the videos that long, but I want to make sure we make at least a little bit of movement each episode, because otherwise I think it's just too much work that gets shown. So it's definitely going to be a lot of jumping around, as you're seeing, and that's also why I do a lot of the automation and so forth, because otherwise, if I was trying to manually do all this, it would just really be unsustainable to do a lot of other things that I enjoy doing, either on the channel or just off the air and so forth, as I'm just doing other things and playing around, keeping myself entertained, and obviously dealing with real life as well. I'm not at the size that I can make this my income stream or anything. At this point, it's not an income stream at all. I haven't even gotten to the point where I can monetize on YouTube. I'm getting close. But I would assume that that's not going to be suddenly a giant stream of funds. If I ever get blessed to get to that point where I could consider doing that, I'm not necessarily opposed to it at some point, to say, I'm dedicating more time to this because it's actually generating a good amount of income. But I think that's pretty rare for most YouTubers, so that is certainly not something that I was counting on. But certainly not something that I'd be upset if it happened, but not banking on it. So enough of that, because that's really not why I do this. I do it because I enjoy simulators, and I thought, well, I'll share that enthusiasm and that fun with others, so that you can follow along and help me along, and we can enjoy ourselves together. with what's happening here. I'm going to get this row done. I'm going to go ahead and move the planter or the seeder over to, I think it's field 28 over there, the little field, and we'll get the wheat planted, because we've got a lot to do, and I think it's going to take several episodes to get all the way through level 6. There's just a lot happening. Because the other thing I think I'm going to try to do, it looked like when I went to, I'm trying to recall why I went into the yard. Oh, I had to go refill the seeder's tanks. I ran out of fertilizer over there on field 9. And so I went by the sheep, and I was able to, I'm going to wait here. We'll go grab this. We'll drive it down the road. It should be okay. It's certainly, oh, you know what? I have to clean this field up. So you can see kind of especially up on the hill there. So I've got a little bit of work to do here. Let me do that. And then I'll be back with you probably once I'm back at the olives at this point, since I'm going to have to pull away anyway, rather than just bring you back to drive on the field and start up. But, there's a good amount to do, but I think I can get the clothing going, is what I was going to say, because I think I have 4 pallets of wool, so I can start to get that converted to fabric, which will then get us closer to the clothes, which again are a level 7 need, but I'd rather have things done and waiting so that I have some opportunity for just quick deliveries, which I've done in the past too for a few episodes, where we are able to very quickly deliver what the VIPs needed. But this is also why I'm only showing 2 levels at a time, because I felt, as I can now see accurately when I started this series, I felt the VIP needs were going to grow pretty quickly, and that it was going to be a good amount of work just to progress through 2 levels, and that way if we're expanding fields and all that, we get all that added work and all those options into what the VIPs look for, because they're able to see what our changes are in our capabilities. So I'm going to get this going and move everything over once I clean this up, and as I said, I'll probably join you back at some point in the olive field, and we'll resume our conversation there. So I'll see you in a bit. I am dumping the olives. I'm done with 1 field, so I've got about 6,000 or 7,000 liters, so I may not have enough to do everything I need right away here, but I think we'll be in pretty good shape. So right now, let me see. Alright, I do have some limits, but we're not going to run into them, but I'll just clear them just so I know I'm good. And then we're going to back in here, and the goal will be obviously to get the wool picked up, and then we'll get it over to, I think it's the spinnery, that will go ahead and get us what we need. I probably really should move that tractor in all honesty, but I'm a glutton for punishment sometimes, so we'll just, yeah, there we go. We'll shove it along with our truck. But no, the hope is that it will start to load the trailer. Maybe not. I thought I could get close enough. But yeah, I have found getting the plants and all that, it is a very, I have to be very, very close. And I think I'm just fighting a battle I really shouldn't be fighting, but there we go. So, we're grabbing the wool. Let's see if I can just get it close enough. No, it's of course hitting the fence there, so we'll straighten it out a bit, but I think if I get it close enough, there we go. Alright, so 3,800 liters of wool. Not a lot. Alright, so we're gonna hop over here to the spinnery. We don't own this yet. Now we do. And while we're at it, we're gonna get the tailor shop. So now we own that. So again, we can start to see the money issues. But once again, I need 4,000 liters of clothes. So to do that, I need 2 fabrics to get 1 clothes. So that means I'm going to need 8,000 fabrics. We're getting it from wool. And this means I need 8,000 of these. And it's 2 wools to 1. So I need 16,000 wool. And therein lies why I want to begin this production as soon as I can. Even though I'm still not done with the olives, I want to get things moving along, because if I can keep things humming, overall I make progress faster. So I'm going to get this over. So basically this row of buildings, we've got a good amount of them. You know, we're only going to own what we need to own to do things, because obviously, yes, if we just drop the wool off, it would just get consumed. I mean, we get money, we wouldn't get the result in the end. So, alright, so the question is, alright, I can back in there. Where do I have to drop? I'm a little worried about this, because I think, yeah, I need to get in the back here. But I'm thinking this is going to be tricky. And we can see that that's true. So I think I'm going to take advantage of my space here. I may want to keep this in mind as I figure out, do I want to put things there? Because I was thinking, I'll just need a little bit of a road. And I might be able to get by with that. You know what? I'm going to back in, because it's just a disaster waiting to happen. I mean, I've got a good amount of turning, as you can see there, but I just think it's going to be a problem otherwise. But yeah, as I was needing more production buildings for other things that the VIPs need in the future, my intent was to expand here. But I need a little bit of room here to get into the spinnery, because they've got fences and all kinds of other fun that will cause me some challenges. So this is the challenge in Europe in a lot of cases. I run into it in Euro Truck Simulator. I'm running into it with the way these maps are probably somewhat accurately modeled. This was not a production building I put on here. This was by the map maker. Yeah, and even more importantly, you can see, like, coming to get this stuff later. Yeah, it's right there. So, why is it not dumping is the question. So let's see. If I do right front, there we go. You kind of have to hit the trigger point, and it's just not always obvious where that is. But we've got that. At this point, I suppose I can leave it here, because I'm going to need, once the fabric starts coming out, I'm going to need to take that fabric and move it over next door to the tailor shop over there. But yeah, you can see we're kind of right over here. Here's our flooring factory. So now we own the tailor shop, the spinnery, and the cereal factory down there is one we did put up. We're kind of the holder of many things here, but the difficulty becomes money keeps leaving. And we're going to get some money back. I mean, again, 160,000 euros, like, the bonus at the end of this level is more than that. Like, we'll have covered those buildings, for example, but, you know, there's only so many things we can cover and have success with before we run into problems. So I need to get these olives done. Again, I need 17,000 liters. I don't know that I'm going to get it, but once again, I don't need it to level 7. So, you know, even here, the 159,100 euros was 100,000 for the tailor shop, 60,000 for the spinnery. Like, that level covers it, you know, and then we're going to make money just selling the clothes eventually to the 0K shops, you know, and so this 23,000 bonuses on top of what we're going to get. You know, and we're going to have sales of a lot of these things as well. Definitely a good amount of work, so I'm going to continue on, and I should be able to get the olives done by the end of the day. So that is the goal, And we'll see what things look like then. But definitely a busy, busy day here on the farm in the hills of Tuscany. I'll see you in a bit. Pulling away from the olive field, I've still got a tiny bit left that's possible to be pulled. You can see I'm full, so I've actually filled once on the other olive grove and a second time. So that is great to see that I can get over 8,000 liters off of that. At this point, I might be up to what I need, so I don't want to use too much. No, we're actually got plenty of room. So I need, again, 17,000 liters of olive oil, and that means I need 17,000 liters of olives. So I am actually going to be able to take everything, and I will need a little bit more from a future harvest. But again, we have plenty of time. That is part of why I like to do things this way. So at this point, I do think we've certainly plowed forward quite a bit today and gotten all kinds of things going. I have touched up the last field of wheat so that we've got as much growing as is reasonably possible. I've got just one row here in the olives left to go, not even a full row. So I'm going to take every little bit out that I can, because that will just obviously help in the future. So I think I have Toward the Hill or something like that. But I am then going to run these olives over before I head off for the evening and head off for dinner and get the olive mill starting to do its thing, because I do think it takes a bit of time to process, but regardless of how long it takes, that will move us in the right direction. That is the plan, and then I will go ahead and be done for now. So we're going to wrap this up as an episode. Hope you've enjoyed the work. I think we are going to have just a lot of things. Well, it looks like we've already hit our limit, so I'm going to back out. That'll be quicker than driving all the way forward, even at full speed, and coming back. I think we need to be prepared. You know, part of me is always like trying to want to hit some major milestone, but I think that starts to make episodes far too long. I start packing too much into them, and then we start going up into an hour and things like that. I'm trying to keep things more reasonable, where I think people can consume them easily. You know, the half hour seems to be what most gaming channels settle on. That's kind of what I've been trying to do, and I do see that certainly videos around that length seem to perform better than videos that are super long. So to me, without any comments, that's the only feedback I have to go on, and what I'm seeing is long videos don't appeal to as many people. You know, and the issue is, it's not the watch time, it's just the views. Like, people don't even click on them because they're like, oh, it's a 2-hour video, I'm not interested in that, is I think what's going on. And obviously that becomes an issue. And part of the reason the videos get long is, because I'm doing what I'm doing now, which is babbling on forever. Oh goodness, can I not move? Oh, there we go. I was like, it is not letting me go. I'm going to just head this way, because the olive mill is kind of thereabouts over here. And rather than drag my butt through the field the other way, I'm just worried about this depression here by the utility pole. So this may be a regret I have, but we're going to try it. Yeah, this looks awfully steep. Ooh. Just hope this tractor has enough to get us there. I think it will. Just might be painfully slow. But yeah, as always, certainly give me comments. Give me feedback. What are you enjoying? Do you enjoy these series? Do you enjoy the VIP Order Manager? Nobody's, out and out said, yeah, this is great. Or the opposite. I think we keep doing them. I just really enjoy playing this way. I think it just naturally creates a bit of a storyline, and that certainly, I think, would be more compelling to view than just, I'm doing this because I feel like doing it. This way we know, hey, we've got these people waiting for olive oil at this point, for example, is why I'm doing this work. Not just because I have olives on my farm, but because somebody wants them. But with that being said, as I come up here upon the olive mill, I'm just worried I'm going to have all kinds of fun getting back in, but this is an easier trailer to back up, so I think I'll be okay. Well, actually, no, it's not. That's right, this is the one. Yeah, so this is going to be a bit of a struggle, I think. But in any event, I'm going to fight this battle on my own. Oh, we do have some olive oil out, so we may actually be okay. That's right, we left some because we have the ability with a trailer to pick up exactly what we need. So this may get us what we need, because as you can see, we're at 15,180. And I've got more than 2 pallets out there, and the pallets are usually 1,000 liters, so we may be good. This may get us what we need, so that would be excellent, because then that means we're all set for the olives. But at this point, I'm hoping I'm keeping this reasonable. I'm worried I babbled on too long in several segments, and it's still pretty long. So again, feedback. The more I know, the more I can tailor things and make changes that fit and keep things enjoyable for me. You know, I'm going to be honest. I'm not going to make a change that I would hate just because, you know, someone suggested. I mean, sure, if I get 1,000 suggestions or 100 suggestions, that's going to be more compelling than one. You know, but the reality is I'm not a large channel yet, and so the likelihood of me getting 1,000 suggestions on a single video is foolish, let's be honest. But with that, we've now got everything in there. Let me make sure the olive mill is producing. I may have turned it off, but I don't think so. I did not. Alright, and it is going, and olive oil is moving forward. But with that, I'm going to go ahead and wrap up for this episode, and we'll also be ending up wrapping up for this day, so when we come back, we'll be into March for sure, or further, depending, because I think we are getting to a tipping point where I'm just waiting. You know, we've still got several months till the wheat is going to be ready to be harvested. I've got things going. The only thing I can honestly think that might occur is I may be able to get a clean line of visibility to see that I don't have enough wood for the floor tiles. That may have started to happen, and if that does happen, then I can go ahead and, you know, maybe take a few more trees down and get that done. But I tend to do that off camera because I don't like doing it, and I just, you know, kind of get it done in a way that gets wood over there. Just want to get to the farm. I want to thank you for watching, and thank you for following along on the series. Thank you for visiting the channel. Just thanks in general. I appreciate every single one of you who take any time to watch things, and especially those who get to the point and hear my thank yous, because usually that'll mean you watch the whole video. So thank you again. I appreciate you more than you know. If you have not dropped a like for the video, please consider doing that. That helps with the YouTube algorithm. It lets people know that there's engagement. Comments also help with engagement. Any kind of interaction with the video is helpful. And then, in addition, if you're not a subscriber, please consider doing that as well. That will help the channel grow. That will help get more viewership. As of the recording of this video, we are 10 subscribers away from the magical 1,000 milestone, and that would be an accomplishment. So I would love to get there, and I'd love to get there with your help. So again, if you're not a subscriber, please consider it. With that, I will see you next time.